What I'm about to share with you could be the golden ticket to all of your recruiting and scaling challenges, because you're about to learn how to hire premium Ukrainian talent and save between 70 to 80% on payroll and salary costs, all within the next 5 days. Ukrainian talent, not Bangladeshi, not Indian, not Filipino, none of the traditional outsourcing hubs that you would typically hear about. If you're skeptical, I'd understand why. Listen to what just a few of our clients have to say.
I would be surprised if it was less than $120,000 a year we're saving. Between $120,000 and $200,000 development cost a year.
I can tell you that my experience working with them has been nothing short of spectacular. Originally, we were going to hire only one person for this position. We ended up hiring 2 people.
3 of them knocked it out of the park, and I would have been more than happy to hire any of those 3. She's been absolutely magnificent for me.
Pretty seamless, really quick. We were able to hire the talent we needed in less than a week.
I've been so happy that she's been around for over a year. Nothing has compared to the experience of hiring a vetted virtual assistant from HireUA.com.
To my surprise, she actually runs the whole thing. She's fantastic. I don't know what I'd do without her. I'm probably spending a couple minutes a day on the business now, and she's managing the whole thing. So she's been absolutely fantastic. She's amazing. People love her. I think between us making contact, me paying, and you guys finding me candidates, I think it was a give or take about a week, about 4 or 5 business days. So quick turnaround. You guys were very quick. I felt like the quality of candidates were very strong. I'm having a great experience, so it's really easy to recommend you guys.
These are the best candidates I've ever interviewed.
They've blown my expectations out of the water in terms of how capable and confident and independent they were on the job.
I was like, day one, I was like, yeah, this is the greatest decision I've ever made.
I'm never going to use some other VA hiring thing outside of HireUA now.
Now, before I get into the nitty gritty and share the how, you and I need to have a very frank conversation. Why Ukraine? I'm sure you're wondering why we're so dead set on having you hire from this part of the world, let alone this one singular country. My name is Kyle Mao, and I'm the founder here at HireUA. The journey started for me in 2016 when I moved abroad from the United States to Ukraine, and I lived there for most of the year. I had a small business building niche affiliate websites. I was working myself into the ground, writing 3,000 word SEO ready articles, optimizing all the images, doing every little bit of the process all by myself. This is so typical for so many of our HireUA clients. They get stuck in the trenches in the day-to-day operations of their business. This stops them from scaling. They don't have the time to go through hundreds of resumes and deal with all the different hassles of the recruitment process. When I was building those websites, I ended up hiring an Eastern European girl named Denitsa. She went from just writing the drafts to doing the whole shebang, from writing the initial draft, adding the images, optimizing them for SEO, every single part of the process Denitsa managed. I built that business into making $20,000 a month. I only worked 2 hours a month on it. This is the power of hiring the right people. It gives you more freedom than you could ever imagine to actually scale and focus on what really matters in your business, or the ability to spend time with those who matter in your life. I'm a husband, I'm a father now, and the time that I now get to spend with them as opposed to toiling away on the monotonous day-to-day operations of my business, it's priceless. Life was only getting busier. I was running my personal brand, and I had actually started an olive oil company that you see behind me while living in Ukraine. I knew that I needed an actual personal assistant on the ground to help me with my life. I'd had the experience, I'd had a great experience of hiring Denitsa before, so I was very comfortable hiring another Eastern European to fill this role. Within a day of hiring Katya, I turned to myself and I said, why the hell isn't everybody else hiring from this part of the world? After yet another day of dumping a variety of tasks on her plate and having her handle it flawlessly, I had what was my light bulb moment. Maybe I should set up a business placing premium Ukrainian talent into other people's businesses. And that is how HireUA was born. Katya evolved from being a personal assistant into much more. She became HireUA's senior technical recruiter, and she's still with the company several years later. The company has grown from just her and I to 16 and growing Ukrainians who handle all aspects of the day-to-day of my business.
She's essentially the backbone of my business. She took easily 2 to 3 hours off my plate. She's doing the job of 2 people, really. Yeah, it's so simple. Like I said, I really just reached out to you within a day. You had people at interviews and all these things ready. You were really attentive to my needs.
She's been on top of anything that we've asked and managing pretty much any of the tasks, and then doing research on things that she doesn't know, like without being prompted to just to make sure she has a really good grasp of whatever we happen to be working with. Her work ethic is better than anyone else on my teams, barring myself right now. Far faster than I've ever gotten even one candidate from a US side before, let alone 5.
I would say if I was to hire in the UK, it would easily, for the value that I'm getting, easily double what I'm paying right now. The one we have today is honestly superstar level. I couldn't be more happy and the team couldn't be more happy.
But yeah, the savings then, based on what I'm doing right now, dude, I'm saving probably about 3 to 4K a month. So let's just look at that and that's right now. Like when I extend, it's going to be upwards of 6 to 7 grand a month. So let's just say over the course of the year, dude, that's like close to 50 grand. So what I got was literally in like 48 hours, dude, within that amount of time. I had a list of 10 to 15 qualified candidates. It just went above and beyond what I thought it was going to be.
I understand where you're at. You might be frustrated that your business just is not growing as quickly as you want it to. Potentially, you're frustrated that your employees just aren't delivering the results that you need them to. Or you might simply lack the time to secure the right hires so that you can actually scale your business. I've been there myself. I've been there a few times actually, and I understand just how frustrating it is to be in this kind of situation. And I'll tell you what, it is so much easier when you have the right people and the right team around you. Do you think I would have started this business specializing in placing premium Ukrainian talent into other people's businesses if I didn't believe with every fiber of my being that they're simply the best on the planet? Hell no. I've scaled my own agency to 7 figures by hiring Ukrainians to run every single part of the day-to-day of my business. That should tell you everything that you need to know about hiring from Ukraine. Now, you're probably thinking, like, Kyle, why are you so against hiring from other countries? To be clear, I'm not totally against it. I just want people in my company who are razor sharp, who innovate, who are able to take on real, genuine responsibility and run with it. I want them to build processes. I want them to build systems. I want them to come up with things on their own without needing my instruction all of the time. I want and I need team members who can think for themselves, not just people who can just press the same button over and over and over again. Here's a few examples of exactly what I'm talking about. One of my client success managers, Daria, built out a full automation connecting PandaDoc with Stripe with our CRM. To this day, I still don't even know how exactly she does it or how the system works, but I don't need to because they handle every single part of the financial and legal aspect of the business, which is, coincidentally, my least favorite part of it. Just imagine how much energy I get back by not having to deal with that small day-to-day nuance. My executive assistant, Victoria, planned a full-on team event in Warsaw, Poland for 10 members of the team, and it went off without a hitch. It was not easy either. We did a lot of different things, and we had 10 different people coming from 7 different countries. After all, quite a few Ukrainians are displaced across the world right now, given the current situation. And finally, my current operations manager, Valentina, she started as a basic virtual assistant doing a variety of very low-level tasks. Within 2 months, she was promoted to be a recruiter because she had just such a knack with clients and with candidates. And 2 months after that, I just put her in charge of the entire operation. She now manages all the recruiters, all the client success managers. Every part of the recruiting process runs through her flawlessly. As you can see by these examples, the Ukrainians are simply built different. From what I've experienced in the past is that the majority of hires from other countries simply have no independent thought capability, apart from the odd one or two. When they're given a task and it's in a box, then they can execute that task. But as soon as you ask them to go outside of that box or do something that's a little bit outside of the normal, that is when things simply start to fall apart. That is not the type of team member that I can have in my business. And it's not the type of team member that you'll get when you hire from us. This is your business. This is your life. You 100% deserve the best that there is. We're fortunate that our clients at HireUA stay with us for a very long time. They love the fact that they get to save between 70 and 80% on payroll. This allows them to free up cash and invest in other areas of their business. Just stop and think about your current payroll totals. How much would it cost for you to bring on a full-time employee from your own country right now? Imagine paying 70 to 80% less for someone who has the same skills and will likely be significantly more committed than anyone that you can actually hire in your country. Exactly. Now you're starting to see what's possible right? We consistently get feedback from clients about how much they appreciate how easy it is to deal with payroll with us every month. We simply take their card information one time and handle all of the foreign exchange rates, all of the transaction costs, and all of the paperwork and hassles that come with an overseas hire. It's a headache that they don't need, and we're happy to take that off their plate. There's no need to mention that we save hours of time for our clients doing all the sourcing and all the screening. There's no need to mention that all the Ukrainians that we place into people's businesses speak superb English and have incredible Western business sense, but there's no need to mention any of that, really.
Carl sent me back, I think, 5 or 6 resumes in maybe 48 hours, maybe 72 hours. And she's been basically just a second version of me, which I didn't think I'd be able to find. I think the big thing that I realized when working with HireUA versus like looking at other providers is they are willing to do the extra legwork when you do come with more specific requests. There is no request too small or too large.
I knew how good you were till I experienced it myself. I was like, holy shit, this is one professional outfit. Dude, it was insane. The speed and for me, it was just such a relief to find someone. I'm actually saving probably £3,000 to £4,000 a month.
I'll be honest, I wasn't very confident that someone overseas would be able to come in and do this job to the standards that maybe a US person would, but you definitely proved me wrong. She's proven us wrong on like what skill sets and experience you need to succeed in a role like this, or just using a hiring service like yours, but the numbers don't lie. I mean, it's quite simple.
If you're still watching, then you're interested. Now I'll share with you what happens when clients come on board at HireUA. I'm sure you're very curious how this works by now. After you fill out your initial onboarding form, you'll have a discovery call with a member of the team. We do that to find out what you're looking for and to help spec out your job. Based off of how this call goes, we'll then decide whether or not to work with you. On the discovery call, we're going to talk to you about you, your company, your culture, and everything that makes your business what it is. This is to find out if we're a good fit to work together. If it's a yes, then great. We're going to set up a communication tool. Whether you want to use Slack, email, Telegram, WhatsApp, we're going to work around whatever is the most convenient for you and your business. After that, you just have to sit back while we go to work. We do all the sourcing, all the screening, all the scheduling. All you have to do is show up to the interview. We'll typically deliver you 3 to 5 high quality candidates to interview within 5 days of you paying your starting fee. That's pretty quick, right? After that, once you decide which candidate you'd like to hire, we take care of all the negotiations and all of the payroll. That's it. All you have to do is simply sign the agreement and off you go. That's it. The only time that you need to be there is on your discovery call, then approving a job description, and then show up to the interviews. We take care of everything else. You will not find a faster service that can embed premium talent into your business as quickly as us. It simply does not exist. By now, you know the pros of hiring through HireUA. It's glaringly obvious. Whether you book a call or not is all dependent on how willing you are to change your situation. You can give yourself the gift of more time, more freedom, and more peace of mind in your business. Having all of those things is priceless. Or in our case, 70-80% less on payroll, so almost priceless. We're pretty close. It's important to note that this is not a hard, pushy sales call. It's a discovery call. We need to understand about you, your business, and the values that you share. If you're a good human being and you have similar business values, then we'll be inviting you to work with us. Our calendar is right below this video. Please feel free to pick a time that suits you. The HireUA team is looking forward to speaking with you on the call.